I have to explain about, or we will learn about pronunciation. Anybody one knows about the right sound of pronunciation? In the object is Pronunnciation. So the right sound of pronunciation is pronunciation. That is pronunciation. Pronunnciation. So the right sound of pronunciation is pronunciation. Like this, pronunciation. And in continue to the explanation, it's about the first ed ending regular verb. The first is, if the final sound ends in voiceless, then the ed ending reads as t other than t or except t. So the kinds of voiceless itself, it's p, k, f, s, and ush, and t, and the, and h, and the last is ch in the word of watch. Okay, for the example, it's like stopped, stop. In the word of stop, if we add ed in the word of stop, so we can read in the writing it's like stop it, stop it. But in the sound of pronunciation, that the d is changed of t by t. It's like, so the sound is stopped, stopped, like this. And the next example, it's kick, the word of kick. If we add ed in the word of kick, so in writing we can read as kicked, kicked. But in the pronunciation of sound, that we can read as the d first that change to t in voiceless. We have to remember that in voiceless we have to change to t. It's like, so the sound is watched, or I'm sorry, it's kicked, kicked. And the other example is laugh, laugh, and wash, wash, wash. If we add ed in the word of wash, so in the writing is washed. But in the pronunciation, or the sound of pronunciation is or the sound of pronunciation is washed, like this. So the d is changed by t. And the next is, if the final sound ends in voiced, voiced, then the ed ending is read as d instead of d, except of d. In voiceless just now, except of t. So we can read t except of t. But in the voiced, that we can read as d except of d, d, like this. So the kind of voiced itself is b, d, g, h, and I, and r, and v, and w, and others. So I mean other of voiceless. So for the example, it's like gather, in the word of gather. If we add ed in the word of gather, so in writing we can read as gathered. But in the sound of pronunciation, the right sound is gathered, like this, gathered, like this. So and the next example is like love. In the v kind, it's love. So if we add ed in the love, loved in writing, loved, loved in writing. But in the sound of pronunciation, we can read as loved, loved, like this, not loved. It's wrong. So the right is loved, like this. And the next is followed, follow. So if we add ed in the word of follow, in writing we can read as followed, followed. But in the sound of pronunciation, we can read as followed, 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 like this. And the next, in the final sound ends in d or t. So in voiceless, T is include to voiceless and D is include to voiced. So D or T, so the ed ending is read as ed. Ed is like, for the example, in the word of invite, if we add ed in the word of invite, so the right sound of pronunciation itself is invited, invited, invite, invited, invite, like this. I'm sorry, invite, invited, like this. And the next is have, have. So in the writing is we can read as hated, hated or hated, but in the sound, but in the sound of pronunciation, the right sound is hated, 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 like this. And the other example is like lived, 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 like this, live. If we add ed in the word of live, so we can read as lifted in writing, but in the right sound in pronunciation itself, so we can read as lifted, like this. So the ed is read as ed because the last object or the in the word of lift, it's a t, lift. So if we add ed, so we can read lifted, like this, not lift. So it's wrong. The right is lifted, like this. And for the other example, it's like she looked at me. In the writing, she looked at me, but in the right sound is she looked at. So it's include to the next explanation. It's about linking vowel and consonant. It's like, so the right sound is she looked at me. So she looked at. So the word of look and at, so that we can gather, because in the last object of the word of looked, so it's D, or as we know that huruf mati. So as we know, we can call as consonant. But and in the first word after word of look at is at. So in the first object is, as we know that as vowel, huruf hidup, we can know it's a. So vowel to consonant to vowel, so it can be gathered. So the right sound is she looked at me, like this. And the next example is like I had her, I had her. So the right is I had it, because had, this is the last word, the last object in the word of had. This is, although in the writing is had, the last is a. So this is not, I'm sorry, this is not not include to vowel, because in the sound this is have, the e is close, but the sound is have, we can read as have, like this. So the last object in the word of had, so it's t, had, like this. So had her, I had her. So we can gather had and her, because her, this is the h of in the word of her. If in linking, so it's not be read, not read. It's like the sound is I hated her, I hated her, I hated her, like. Okay, we continue to the next slide. It's about linking vowel to vowel, or as we know that huruf hidup bertemu huruf hidup. For the example, in the first is why are you so upset? So in the first is the first word why, is like why, although ye in the last of word, it's not include to consonant, or as we know that as huruf mati, but in the sound it's it include two vowel or huruf hidup. Y. So in the writing is W, A, and I. Y. So in the next word is R is the first word in of the first object of word of R. So it's vowel. As we know that in the is we can look in the PPT, it's A Y R. So we can gather is become one. YR. It's like is there Y is there is like there Y in the middle of both of them, either Y and R. Why are you like this? Why are you so upset? It's same, it's vowel to vowel, huruf hidup bertemu dengan huruf hidup. So we can read as so upset like this. So it's like there W in the middle of both of them in the word of so and upset. So upset like this. So the full is why are you so upset? Why are you so upset? So the R in the word of R, so we can make loose by us. We can erase as like why are you so upset like this? Why are you so upset? Because in British itself that are that majority of British and that's not if they're the word of there is the R in the word, so that's not that make a loss by them. It's like why are you, it's like better or important though. So in British they read as important like this, important. It is like their is like their Y in the middle of both of them, is like in the word of I and M. So the read is the sound is I am is like there are Y in both of them. Why am not like this. And the next is number 2. A. Who is he? We can know that. We can look who is he. So it's the first word who, and the next is, and the last is he. So we can gather in the first word to the second word. Who is? It's the last object in the word of who. It's huruf hidup, or as we know that vowel. And the first object itu adalah in the word of is itu adalah is. So huruf hidup bertemu dengan huruf hidup O dengan I. So we can read as who is. It's like there W in the middle of both of them in the word of he and is. Who is he like this, who is he. And the next is he is the announcer in the B. He is the announcer. So in the first word of he and the next is he is. So we can gather is also. It's like he is. It's like there's Y in the middle of both of them. The word of he and is. He is the announcer. So the announcer like this. He is the announcer like this. And the other example. And same consonant, or as we know that huruf mati bertemu dengan huruf mati. For the example, she speak Spanish like this. In the first, it's she speaks Spanish. In British, if they're the same word as like in the end of the word of speaks, it's S. But in the first object in the word of Spanish is S2. If they're the same object that meet, so we can lose one. We can make lose one. It's like, so we can read only one. It's like she speaks Spanish. She speaks Spanish. So it's consonant to the same consonant. Huruf mati bertemu dengan huruf mati. S bertemu dengan P or S. So we can read one. S bertemu dengan S. S meet with S. So we can read one. She speaks Spanish. She speaks Spanish like this. She speaks Spanish. And the next is turn it down in writing. But in the sound of pronunciation, we can, if they're the same object in the word, in the sentence, or the first sentence is the ending of the object is D, it's like turn it down just now, and the first and the next word is the first object is D2, it's same with the first word. So we can read only one, or the one is we can make loose. It's like the sound is turn it down, so turn it down, so it's wrong. We can read turn it down like this. And the next is about big game. We can read only one, big game, like this, big game. And the next is about helpful. We can read only one, the P, because it's same. So the right sound is helpful, like this. And the next, can never. So we can, it's same too. In the first word is can, so the last object is and in the next is never. The word of never, in the first object is and, so it's same. We can read only one, can never, like this, can never. So how about the last example? So you can practice, or you can practice its correct pronunciation. In the word of back cat, and the next is back club. So how about the sound of the word? Okay, we continue to the next explanation, or the next slide. It's about linking consonant to vowel. As we know that huruf mati bertemu dengan huruf hidup. For the example, the first is A. Can I come in? Can I come in? So the first is the first word of can. The last, or the end of object in the word of can is consonant, or as we know that N. So and the next is I. So the first, so it's include to vowel, or the first is huruf hidup or vowel, so we can gather it become one. It's like can I, like this, can I. And the next is come in. Come. The last is, although in the word of come, in the writing is the last object is A, so it's lost or not read, because the sound is come, so the last word is M, so it's include two consonant or huruf hidup. And then after that, after the word of come is in the first object is vowel or huruf hidup, is that is I, so we can gather become one. It's like come in, like this. So the full is can I come in, like this. And the next B, yes, come on in, the door is open. Come on in, the door is open. So in the word of come on, we can gather become one, because it's the first is consonant, or the first in the word of come, in the last or in the end object it's consonant M, come, M. So in the next is on, the first object of in the word of on, it's vowel. It's like we can read as come on, come on, like this, come on. So it's same is after that, on in, we can gather on in, on in. So come on in, the door is open, the door is open. So it's include also the door in the last object is, in the word of door is consonant r. So the next is the first object is vowel, as we know that I, and is the first object is vowel, as we know that I, and after that, after the word of is same, open. So we can read as door is open, like this, door is open. We can gather all, door is open. So the full is, yes, come on in, the door is open. Yes, come on in, the door is open. And the next is number 2, a, should I leave it on? So it's, the sound is should I, should I, should I leave it on, should I leave it on, like this. The B is no, turn it off. So we can gather in the from turn until off, turn it off, like this, turn it off, like this. No, turn it off, like this. And the next it's number 3, a, what time is it? We can gather it from the time until is, what time is it, what time is it, like this, time is it, time is it, like this, time is it, what time is it. And the next B, it's already 5 o'clock. So we can gather also in the word of it's and already, it's already 5 o'clock, like this, it's already 5 o'clock. The next is A, is number 4, A, I have an awful headache, I have an awful headache. So I was make a line in the word of have an awful. So you can practice by yourself how the right sounds in pronunciation or in linking consonant to vowel. Huruf mati bertemu dengan huruf hidup. So how the right sound. Bagaimana cara menyambung dan cara bacanya yang bagus atau yang benar. And the B is same. Take an aspirin. So I was make line 2 in the word of take an and an aspirin. So you can practice how the right pronunciation. And the last is about how far is it. So from the far until it, we can gather. It's like how far is it, how far is it, like this. Next is B, the last, for an a half hours away, hours. So we can remember, we have to remember first in linking that if there the word of H in the first, like her or ours, we can in the linking that not read, so it's make loose. It's like half hours, like this. So the full is 4.5 hours away, 4.5 hours away, 4.5 hours away, like this. And the next you can practice by yourself. That was I said just now in the sentence of I have an awful headache, and the next is take an aspirin. So you can practice how the right answer in pronunciation. We continue to the next or the last PPT, the last slide. As we know that it's about tongue twister. We can practice or we can try the faster of our tongue or our lips. So how faster we are in the sentence of a big black bag with the big black bear, but the big black bear with the big black bag. So if we make so fastly, it's A big black bag but the big black bear, but the big black bear but the big black bag back, like this. So you can practice by yourself in order to your English or your pronunciation will have a skill or a good skill. It's like, and the next is Betty bought better but the butter was bitter. So Betty bought better butter to make the better butter better, like this. So is Betty bought better but the butter was bitter. So Betty bought better butter to make to better butter better, like this. So you can practice by yourself how fast you read the sentence or the tongue twister. Maybe that's all from my explanation. If you have many mistake or wrong word in my speaking or in my explanation, forgive me so much. The last but not least I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.